part one, we took a look at the Cleveland Indians, the most profitable team so far in the MLB. But there are some interesting teams at the bottom of the money standings in MLB currently, most notably Boston. Boston had high expectations, but started the year off terribly. But they have now won 8 of their last 10 games. But even with that big winning span, they've still been the third worst team to bet on overall on the year. So Robert, what do you see for them in the future? More winning like they've done over the past 10 games and profitably? And do you think that their lines are more likely to be over or undervalued in the near future?
I do think Boston has turned it around a little bit since their historically bad start to the season. However, they are still the Red Sox, and right after the Yankees, they are the number 2 public team in Major League Baseball. So it's always going to be really tough to find value on them. And I think that they are going to continue to be overvalued throughout the year, and there's a couple of reasons for that. They only hold value as one of the top teams when they're blowing teams out. That way they can cover those run lines, because you're going to be seeing a lot of minus 180, minus 190, minus 210s out of Boston because they're such a heavily bet favorite team. And as I look at their offense, I think that the problems that led to them getting off to a slow start are going to maintain problems or continue to be problems for them throughout the year. Specifically, when Boston was winning World Series and when they were one of the best teams in the majors, they were absolutely devastating against left-handed pitching. You just couldn't throw out mediocre or even top-end left-handed pitchers against the Red Sox lineup because they just destroy you. But if you look at their lineup now, you got Jacoby Ellsbury, really key guy in that lineup, David Ortiz, Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford, all left-handed bats that are not hitting left-handed pitching. So like we saw last night with Zach Britton, a guy who, he's off to a pretty good start, but I would consider him a pretty mediocre lefty. He can shut down the Red Sox on any given night because they just aren't hitting left-handed pitching. So I think that their offense is going to continue to struggle. If they're not blowing teams out, then I don't see where the value is going to be. And like you said, they've won 8 out of 10. The odds makers are going to be right out in front of that. So you've already seen their numbers jump up and the money lines jump up on them. That's going to continue to be a trend for the entire season.
And as a rule of thumb, would you just avoid these high-profile teams to bet on in general?
I wouldn't say so. When they get hot, they can do some serious damage, like Boston did out in Los Angeles. This is a little bit counterintuitive, but I think that some of the better spots betting on a team like Boston are going to be on the road against overvalued opponents. Boston is a veteran team, so they're capable of going on the road, going on a 6-game road swing and winning 4 or 5 out of those games. I think the tougher value is going to be playing them at home, again, because of like what I talked about with the run line. When they play on the road, they get 9 at-bats. So there's more of an opportunity for them to score a multiple run win, as opposed to playing at home where they have the lead, they can win some one-run games. So I would say look at them a little bit more on the road. And number 2, I would say, just see how they're playing. If they're playing hot, then don't be shy about it. But if they're starting to cool off and you're seeing some deceptively low lines, like yesterday, they were playing against Baltimore and they were only a minus 125 favorite, even though Baltimore is the worst team in the league, that should be a red flag for you. So even though it's a little counterintuitive, follow the lines. When the odds makers are laying a little bit heavier price on them, that might be the time to go to them. But as those lines start to come down, that means they're not playing as well, and just buyer beware.
Great, Robert. Check out part 3 on our YouTube page at SBOR DOT TV for the handicapper's take on the White Sox.